There comes a point in your life when you have to look yourself in the mirror and admit that you've been holding back. That deep down, you've been living below your potential because you've been afraid to fail, afraid to fall, afraid to face the version of yourself that's capable of greatness. Atapoma. But if you want to change your life, if you want to rise, you have to stop hiding behind comfort. You have to stop waiting for the perfect time, because that perfect time doesn't exist. The only time you have is now. And the truth is, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to do the work for you. It's on you to show up, to dig deep, and to push yourself further than you ever have before. You say you want success. You say you want to win. But do you really mean it? Because if you mean it, you stop making excuses. You'd stop letting your emotions dictate your actions. You'd stop letting fear paralyze your potential. The difference between people who talk about change and people who live it is simple. Those who live it take action. They stop waiting for approval. They stop waiting for signs. They decide that enough is enough and they go all in. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. The dreamers talk about what they could be. The doers wake up every day and become it. Let me tell you something. It's not going to be easy. You're going to face days when your body's tired, your mind's heavy, and your heart feels like it can't take another disappointment. But that's the price of transformation. That's the cost of greatness. Growth was never meant to be comfortable. It was meant to be painful, because pain is what wakes up the fighter in you. Every setback is a test. Every challenge is a chance to prove how bad you really want it. Most people run when life gets tough, but not you. You're not here to run. You're here to rise. You're here to show the world what happens when a person decides that quitting is not an option. So before you scroll past, before you go back to living the same routine that's killing your spirit, stop. Look around you. Look within you. You've been given everything you need to win. But until you decide that you're done being average, nothing will change. You've got to take this personally. You've got to fight for your vision like your life depends on. You were not created to be ordinary. You were built to conquer, to create, to become unstoppable. This is your time. Not next year, not when life feels easier now. The question is, how bad do you want it? Because until you answer that with your actions, your words mean nothing. It's time to wake up, lock in, and show the world you really are that comfort is the enemy of growth. It's a simple statement, but it's the reason why so many people live their entire lives stuck in the same cycle, comfortable, safe, predictable, and painfully average. You see, comfort feels good. It's warm, it's easy. It tells you are fine where you are, but the truth is, comfort is a trap dressed up as peace. It's a silent killer that whispers in your ear every time you want to chase something greater. It convinces you that tomorrow will be better if you just rest today, that you can start later. That success can wait. But life doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who push, those who fight, those who dare to move when everything inside them wants to stay still. Growth never happens in a safe zone. You grow when you stretch yourself beyond what feels familiar. Think about it. Muscles don't grow without resistance. A seed doesn't become a tree without breaking through the soil. Diamonds don't form without pressure. Everything in nature that evolves, that becomes stronger, does so because of challenge, not comfort. So why do we think we're any different? Why do we expect to become great while living soft? The truth is, you will never discover what you're capable of. You're capable of wide and in comfort. Growth begins the moment you start to sweat, to shake, to struggle. That's when the real transformation begins. When the comfort zone collapses and you start to feel pain. And the reason most people never change is that they don't want to feel uncomfortable long enough to evolve. They start something, feel the burn, and then quit. They think discomfort is a sign they're doing something wrong, when in fact it's the greatest sign that they're doing something right. Discomfort is feedback from your soul telling you that you're entering new territory. It's proof that you're challenging your limits. But the problem is, too many people crave the illusion of progress without the pain of real growth. They read books, watch videos, talk about their dreams. But when it comes time to sacrifice sleep, to put in the hours, to grind through fatigue, they back off. Because comfort feels safer. But safety and success can't live in the same house. You have to pick one. Every person who ever became great had to walk away from comfort. Think about it. The athletes training when the world sleeps, the entrepreneurs working through rejection after rejection, the artists who pour their hearts into their craft with no applause. These are the people who choose pain over peace, challenge over comfort. They understand that comfort makes you soft, and softness makes you forget who you are. The more you choose comfort, the smaller your world becomes. You stop chasing, stop trying, stop believing that you can do more. And soon life stops giving you opportunities because you stopped earning them. But when you challenge yourself, when you wake up early, when you push your body beyond exhaustion, when you face your fears head on, you open new doors within yourself, you find strength you didn't know you had. You learn that pain is temporary, but the pride of overcoming it is forever. The moment you decide to stop avoiding what's hard is the moment your future starts to change. Because everything you want is on the other side of what's uncomfortable. The success, the confidence, the peace, the power, it's all there, but it's guarded by struggle. That's life's test. That's the price you pay for greatness. The truth is, comfort is seductive. It makes you believe you're doing fine when you're actually losing your edge. It's that voice that says, take a break, you deserve it when you haven't earned it yet. It's that inner voice that tells you to slow down when you're just getting started, wants you to stay small, stay safe, stay hidden. But that's not what you were made for. You weren't born to live comfortably. You were born to evolve, to create, to grow, to rise. And the only way to do that is to make discomfort your new normal. Ask yourself, how much are you willing to endure for your dream? Because your ability to tolerate discomfort determines your level of success. If you can only work when you feel good, you'll never reach greatness. Well, but if you can keep going when you're tired, when you're doubting, when no one's watching, that's when you start becoming unstoppable. That's when the fire inside you becomes stronger than anything around you. Growth isn't about motivation, it's about discipline. It's about doing what's necessary, not what's comfortable. You have to learn to fall in love with the grind. You have to find peace in the pain. Because the truth is, there's a certain beauty in struggle. It humbles you, sharpens you, and teaches you who you really are. Comfort never reveals your character. Adversity does. When you're challenged, you see your true self. You see your weaknesses, your fears, your excuses, and once you see them, you can destroy them. That's why challenging yourself isn't just about achieving more. It's about becoming more. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, your world expands. Every time you face a fear, your courage grows. Every time you fall and rise again, your confidence deepens. That's how you evolve. That's how you build a mind that can handle anything. The people who win in life aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who made the uncomfortable their home. They train their minds to find meaning in the struggle, to see every challenge as a chance to level up. So stop running from the hard things. Stop protecting your comfort like it's your treasure. It's your prison. Challenge yourself every single day. Wake up earlier than you want to. Do the thing you've been avoiding. Push one more rep. Stay one more hour. Speak when you're scared. Take the risk that makes your heart race. That's how you grow. That's how you separate yourself from the crowd. Because the world is full of people who want success, but only a few are willing to suffer for it. And those few, those who choose to challenge themselves when comfort calls, become the ones who rewrite the story of their lives. Remember this, comfort is where dreams go to die. If you want to live a life that matters, a life that echoes beyond your time, you have to learn to fight through discomfort until it feels like home. Growth doesn't happen in the light. It happens in the dark. When no one's clapping, when no one's watching, when you're battling yourself to keep going, it's a puppet that will talk. But if you can keep showing up through the pain, through the fear, through the unknown, one day you'll wake up and realize you became everything you once thought was impossible, all because you chose to challenge yourself when everyone else chose to rest. Discipline is not about feeling like doing it. It's about doing it regardless of how you feel. That's the dividing line between the people who make progress and the people who only dream about it. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants transformation. Everyone talks about goals. But only a small number of people are truly disciplined enough to follow through when it's hard, when it's lonely, when there's no applause. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not loud. It's quiet, consistent, unshakable. It's the act of showing up when your body is tired, your mind is doubtful, and your heart is uncertain. Discipline is the muscle that builds the life you want long before the world sees it. The truth is, most people live by emotion. They move when they're motivated. They work when it's convenient. They grind when they feel inspired. But emotions are temporary. They shift, they fade, they lie. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what keeps you moving forward. Motivation disappears. It's what separates the talkers from the doers, the dreamers from the builders, the almost from the accomplished. The ones who live by discipline don't wait for perfect moments. They create progress through imperfect consistency. They know that the path to success is not made of fireworks and excitement. It's made of early mornings, long nights, sacrifice, and repetition. When you challenge yourself, discipline becomes your best friend. Because every challenge will test your patience, your focus, and your willpower. You'll want to quit, and that's where discipline steps in. It's the voice inside that says, keep going. Discipline doesn't negotiate with weakness. It doesn't listen to excuses. It's the part of you that knows what you said you do, and it makes sure you do it. The disciplined person doesn't wait for the right mood. They build their days around their mission. They get up not because they want to, but because they must. They grind not because it's fun, but because it's necessary. Think about it like this. Success doesn't come from the big moments. It comes from the small decisions you make every single day. Waking up when your alarm goes off instead of hitting snooze. Eating clean when junk food calls your name. Studying when Netflix tries to pull your attention. Those tiny moments of discipline build your destiny brick by brick. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you grow stronger. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you earn self-respect. And that respect becomes power. Because when you trust yourself to follow through, there's nothing you can't achieve. Discipline is also about alignment. It means doing what aligns with your purpose, even when your emotions drag you elsewhere. You can't claim to want success and live by habits that produce mediocrity. Expect transformation while you still cling to comfort. Discipline is what creates alignment between your goals and your behavior. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without it, your dreams remain fantasies. But with it, those same dreams become inevitable. Here's what most people misunderstand. Discipline isn't punishment, it's freedom. The disciplined person is free because they're not controlled by laziness, distractions, or emotion. They don't live by the ups and downs of mood. They live by structure. They're free because they've trained themselves to do what's necessary, not what's easy. The undisciplined person, on the other hand, lives as a prisoner to their impulse. They're ruled by instant gratification, and that's why their life never changes. They want quick results without long-term effort. But the disciplined one understands that slow progress is better than no progress, that consistency always beats intensity, and that true growth takes time. The hardest part about discipline is that it demands sacrifice. You can't have comfort and greatness at the same time. You can't chase pleasure and purpose together. You must choose. Discipline will make you give up distractions, let go of toxic habits, walk away from temporary satisfaction, and face the hard truth about your weaknesses. But in exchange, it gives you mastery over your mind, your time, and your destiny. Every disciplined action you take rewires your brain to believe in your strength. It teaches you that you are capable of control, of focus, of sustained effort. And once you taste that power, you'll never go back to living lazy. Discipline is also about self-respect. When you say you'll do something and actually do it, you build trust with yourself. That trust becomes confidence. But every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your belief in your own word. That's why so many people never start again after failing. They've lost faith in themselves. Discipline rebuilds that faith. It makes you proud of who you are because you know you're not all talk. You're someone who does what needs to be done, whether or not anyone sees it. And make no mistake, discipline will test you. There will be mornings when the bed feels like heaven and the grind feels like hell. There will be days when your effort feels invisible, when no one claps for your consistency. But that's where most people fall. They give up right before the breakthrough. The disciplined ones understand that results take time. They don't rush the process. They respect it. They know that success is not a straight line. It's a staircase built from consistent action. You don't get to skip steps. You climb one at a time, and discipline is what keeps you moving when the climb gets steep. You might not see the reward right away, but every disciplined day adds up. Each act of consistency compounds into something greater. You might not feel like you're winning today, but every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you're planting seeds that will grow into greatness later. Discipline is about delayed gratification. It's about doing what's hard now so that life becomes easier later. The undisciplined do the opposite. They do what's easy now and suffer harder later. That's the difference between living with short-term effort or long-term regret. To master discipline, you have to stop treating it as something you do sometimes. It must become who you are. It has to become your identity. You have to look in the mirror and say, I'm not the type of person who quits. I'm not the type who skips days. I'm not the type who lets feelings dictate my focus. When you start seeing yourself as a disciplined person, you stop negotiating with your old self. That identity shift changes everything. Because discipline isn't something you practice, it's something you embody. At the end of the day, discipline is the price of admission for success. It's not optional. It's the quiet force behind every achievement, every victory, every transformation. You can have talent, you can have passion, you can have potential, but without discipline, none of it means anything. Talent gets lazy, passion fades, potential wastes away. But discipline, it stays. It's your anchor when the storm comes, your engine when the fuel runs low, your compass when the path gets dark. It's the one trait that guarantees that no matter what happens, you'll find a way forward. So stop waiting for the right time, the right feeling, the right circumstance. There will never be one. The only right time is now, and the only right mindset is discipline. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. You don't need to move fast. You just need to move daily. Every small act of discipline is a declaration that you're not ruled by your emotions. You're ruled by your purpose. And when you live like that, nothing can stop you because the world bends for those who refuse to bend for weakness. The disciplined few are the ones who rise while everyone else sleeps, who keep moving when everyone else stops, and who win because they were willing to do what the undisciplined would not. The mind is the battlefield where every victory or defeat begins. Before your body ever moves, before your actions ever manifest, your thoughts have already decided what happens next. That's why challenging yourself starts here, in your mentality, in the way you think, talk to yourself, and interpret struggle. If your mind is weak, it doesn't matter how strong your body is, how much potential you have, or how big your dreams are, you'll break under pressure. But if your mind is unshakable, if your thoughts are disciplined and your focus is fierce, you can push through anything. The mind is the weapon, and how you use it determines everything. Most people live with a limited mindset. They underestimate themselves not because they're incapable, but because they've been trained to think small. Society tells them to be realistic, to stay comfortable, to not risk too much. That programming kills greatness before it's ever born. You cannot live an extraordinary life with an ordinary mind. You have to train your thoughts to believe in what doesn't exist yet. You have to see victory in your mind long before it shows up in your life. The strongest minds don't wait for proof. They create it through persistence, faith, and resilience. The challenge is that your mind doesn't naturally push toward growth. It pushes towards safety. It wants to protect you, to keep you away from discomfort, to keep you in the familiar. But nothing grows in comfort. Comfort is where your potential goes to die. Every time you back away from challenge, every time you listen to the voice that says, not today, you're teaching your mind to settle. And once your mind settles, your life follows. The greatest breakthrough happens when you start reprogramming your thoughts to embrace struggle instead of avoiding it. You must teach your mind that pain means progress, that fear means expansion, that difficulty means development. You have to talk to yourself differently. When the voice of doubt whispers, you can't do this, you respond, watch me. When the feeling of fear rises, you don't run from it. You walk through it. That's mental toughness. It's not about pretending you don't feel fear or fatigue. It's about feeling it and moving forward anyway. The strongest minds are not those who feel nothing, but those who move through everything. Every time you challenge your own thoughts, you take back control. Every time you push through the internal resistance, you build mental armor that no setback can penetrate. There's a reason why some people thrive under pressure while others crumble. It's not luck. It's not genetics. It's mental conditioning. They've trained their minds to stay composed, focused, and hungry when the situation gets difficult. They've learned how to silence distractions, how to ignore the noise, how to direct all their energy toward what matters. That kind of mindset doesn't happen overnight. It's built through repetition. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen your mental muscle. You either use that moment to grow stronger or you waste it complaining about how hard it is. Your mindset determines your endurance. When your body says, I'm done, your mind decides whether to stop or keep going. The human body can endure much more than people think. It's the mind that quits first. That's why you see people give up halfway through their goals. They're not physically broken. They're mentally defeated. If you can master your mind, you can master your life. Because once your mind understands that quitting is not an option, it stops negotiating with weakness. It stops making excuses. It starts finding ways. It becomes a problem solver, not a problem seeker. But here's the truth. Mental toughness isn't built in comfort. It's forged in struggle. You can't build a strong mind in an easy life. You build it when everything goes wrong. When no one believes in you, when your plans fall apart. When you feel like giving up but still keep going. Every time you survive something hard, you're rewiring your mind to believe, I can handle this. Well, I can handle this. That's power. That's growth. You don't get that kind of strength by avoiding hard things. You get it by running toward them. The greatest achievers in history all had one thing in common. They mastered their mindset. They faced rejection, failure, and pain, but they refused to let it define them. Plus, they used it as fuel. They understood that how they thought determined how they acted, and how they acted determined how they lived. That's the formula. Control the mind, control the life. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you think about it. And that's where all power begins. If your mind interprets failure as defeat, you stop. But if your mind interprets failure as feedback, you grow. Same event, different mindset, completely different outcome. The mind can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Left untrained, it becomes a trap. It fills itself with fear, excuses, and limitations. But trained correctly, it becomes unstoppable. It starts to see solutions instead of obstacles. It starts to focus on purpose instead of pain. That's the difference between those who keep evolving and those who stay stuck. You have to feed your mind with strength every day. You have to monitor your thoughts like a gatekeeper, letting in only what aligns with your vision. Because whatever dominates your mind eventually controls your behavior. Think of your mind like a garden. If you don't plant positive, focused, disciplined thoughts, weeds will grow. Doubt, fear, insecurity, laziness. Those weeds choke your growth. You have to pour them out daily. You have to replace them with thoughts of strength, perseverance, and self-belief. Mental toughness isn't something you find. It's something you cultivate. Every day you either strengthen your mind or weaken it. Every day you choose whether to build your inner power or drain it through distractions and excuses. Another key to building mental strength is emotional control. You have to stop letting your emotions dictate your actions. Feelings are temporary. They're signals, not commands. If you live by feelings, you'll never finish anything. You'll stop when it's hard. You'll quit when you're tired. And you'll settle when you're scared. The disciplined mind observes the feeling but doesn't obey it. It says, I hear you, but I'm still moving. When your emotions no longer control you, that's when you become unstoppable. Because now nothing external can manipulate your direction. A strong mind also demands focus. We live in a world full of distractions, social media, gossip, entertainment, comfort. These things drain your mental energy. To build a powerful mindset, you have to protect your focus like it's sacred. That means saying no to things don't serve your mission. That means being ruthless about your attention, because whatever has your focus has your future. If you give your energy to distractions, your dreams will die of starvation. If you give it to discipline and growth, your life will explode with purpose. The final truth about mental toughness is that it's not about never falling. It's about never staying down. You will fail. You will face setbacks. You will doubt yourself. But every time you get back up, you prove your strength to yourself. You build evidence that you are not fragile, that you can adapt, that you can overcome. And over time, that evidence becomes confidence. You stop fearing the storm because you've learned that you can survive it. That's what a strong mind gives you. The power to stand tall no matter what life throws your way. When you train your mind to be unshakable, nothing outside of you has control anymore. Circumstances lose their grip. Opinions lose their power. The world can crumble, and you'll still be standing because your strength doesn't come from what's around you. It comes from what's within you. That's the real victory. To be mentally strong is to be free, to be untouchable, to look at every challenge and say, I'm ready. Because the truth is, life will never stop testing you. But once your mind becomes stronger than your excuses, stronger than your emotions, stronger than your fears, you become unstoppable. And that's when the real transformation begins. When it's all said and done, it's not about what you could have done. It's about what you did when it mattered most. Every single one of us is given moments that define us. And in those moments, you either fold or you fight. You either let life bully you into quitting or you stand up. Look your fears in the face and say, not me, not today. Because the truth is the world doesn't owe you anything, but it will respect you when you refuse to give up. It will open doors when you stop waiting for permission and start demanding progress through your grind, your effort, your pain, and your persistence. You have to decide right now that you're not going to end this life wondering what could have been. Oh, you're going to live it doing everything it takes to become who you're meant to be. Most people talk about wanting to win, but only a few have the hunger to keep fighting when it gets dark. When it gets dark, when it gets lonely, when it hurts to even move forward. The world doesn't remember those who almost made it. It remembers those who refused to stop, those who turned pain into power, those who kept showing up long after the motivation was gone. That's what this life demands from you. Consistency, commitment, and courage. Consistency, commitment, and courage. You can't half-step your way to greatness. You can't wish your way to your dream. You've got to work your way there, fight your way there, bleed your way there if you have to. Because on the other side of that grind is freedom. The kind of freedom that only comes to those who never stop believing in themselves when everyone else doubted them. So if you're listening to this right now, understand something. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when things feel easier. Right now, this is where your story changes. This is where you take all the pain, all the struggle, all the disappointment, and you use it as your weapon. This is where you stop running from challenge and start embracing it. Because challenge is what forges character. It's what transforms average people into legends. You have what it takes. It's already in you. You just have to stop doubting it, stop hiding it, and start living it. The only person who can stop you is you. The only voice that can silence your destiny is the one in your own head telling you it's impossible. But if you silence that voice, if you rise up and say, and no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, I'm not quitting, then nothing in this world can hold you back. Keep grinding, keep fighting, keep believing. Because one day you look back on every moment of pain, every night of doubt, every setback, and you'll realize it was all worth it. Every ounce of effort, every tear, every failure, every rejection, it all built the warrior you've become. And that's when you'll finally understand the truth. Success doesn't go to the smartest, the fastest, or the most talented. It goes to the one who refused to stop. So don't stop. Not now, not ever.